What's going on, everyone? My name is James. How you all doing? And welcome back to my horror movie review videos. And today I'm still continuing reviewing scary movies for the upcoming spooky season. In my last video, I did my review for Child's Play 2. Now I'm in, see in the background, I'm in the sewer, and that is because I'm going to be reviewing the remake of Stephen King's It. So this one is the first chapter of the It series. Now, this one is technically a remake of the TV miniseries from the 90s, and is also a adaptation of a Stephen King book by the same name. So, if you guys know about the story of Stephen King's it's about a shape-shifting killer clown named Pennywise is feeding on children's fears and is causing all the kids to be disappeared, and it's all because of Pennywise is feeding on their fears. So we get to the Losers Club, which when they heard that Pennywise is kidnapping all the children and starts killing them and scaring them, it's all up to the Losers Club to get together to join forces to defeat Pennywise from good, from killing all the other kids at Derry while they're also dealing with the bullies. So when I first saw the trailer for this movie back in 2017, I thought it looks really interesting that they're basically are remaking a movie that hasn't got a theatrical release, because the miniseries with Tim Curry as Pennywise was only a TV movie, and it does look good, but there are some parts in the miniseries where it doesn't really age very well. But for the most part, like, Tim Curry's Pennywise is iconic, especially when he does the rah rah rah. It's like so funny because he's more hilarious than the Pennywise and which I'm going to be talking about. So if you guys have like read the graphic, well, not the graphic novel, like the book of the same name, which to me, I actually didn't read the book when I first heard about this movie. I never read the book, but I heard it was like a thousand pages long, which is ridiculous. But I heard of like a lot of like Stephen King books, and there was like many like Stephen King adaptations. Like, I saw this, and then I saw Cujo, then I saw Carrie, Children of the Corn, then there was Doctor Sleep, which is a sequel to The Shining. And speaking of The Shining, and then I saw The Shining with Jack Nicholson as Jack Torrance. So so yeah, like, I'm really interested to talk about this remake of this movie. So like I said, when I first saw the trailer for this movie, I thought it looks interesting to remake a TV movie that hasn't really been released in theaters. So I saw the trailer for it, and it looks really dark, sinister, and serious. And then, like, it just looks like a horrifying adaptation based on the Stephen King book of the same name. So after when I saw the movie, what do I think? I really do enjoy this movie. However, there are some little issues and some problems I have with the film, but I'll be getting into the issues later on in this review. So let's talk about the characters. So the characters in this movie that were introduced, we have the Losers Club, which are led by Bill. Now, the Losers Club are usually the kids that we actually have been sticking very well with throughout this whole movie, just like in the miniseries. Like, they're basically kids, or they're going to school, and then they were dealing with bullies, like led by Henry Bowers. And then they also tend to encounter many types of fears that they're afraid of. And then the fears that they encounter was basically Pennywise the clown. And they all had to get together in order to defeat Pennywise, so Pennywise doesn't feed on children's other fears ever again. And if Pennywise comes back, then they're going to return, which they did return in Chapter 2, which Chapter 2 focuses, makes them become adults, while in this one, they were just kids. So the acting from these kids in this movie, what do I think of them? I thought they were pretty good. Even though some of these kids don't have that much like of a big story or a big development like the miniseries is, like 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 Ben. Now, Ben in this movie, he was good. Like, I like Ben in this, but they don't really give him like that much like a development other than just being like the fat chubby kid. Whereas like in the miniseries, they actually give him more of a history where he has to live with his aunt, and that's because his father died in the war. I don't know what kind of war it is because it's been a very long time since I watched the miniseries before I saw the new version. And and as for Bill, he usually would just he gets like very traumatized, and he's actually struggling about the fact that Georgie is missing, and then he still thinks that Georgie is still out there, while his father says that Georgie is dead. When yeah, the death of Georgie in this movie is horrifying. Like when Pennywise tricked him when he was about to get his balloon back, and then Pennywise just like bit his arm off, and then he just like stretches his arm and drags Georgie into the sewer at the beginning of the movie, and that was like one of the most horrifying scenes in the book as well as the miniseries. Even though the miniseries has Pennywise attack Georgie, but it actually cuts down to PG-13 because it's not as like as graphic or scary as this one. But the scene like where Georgie actually got his arm bitten off, and Pennywise just like drags him when Georgie was calling for help, was crying for help. It was horrifying. And when I saw that scene in the theater, like it makes me feel like I could not even watch the rest of this movie when I saw that scene alone, because it just scares the living daylights out of me. And I never seen Pennywise like bit Georgie's arm off like in the miniseries because they cut it to a PG-13. But this one actually did show it, and it's horrifying as hell. And there was also a bunch of like other like terrifying moments in this movie. Like the character I feel so scared for and feel sorry for is Beverly, because in the original miniseries, Beverly was just slapped by her abusive father. But in this one, when she gets like attacked and abused by her father, it's even worse. And that scene also scares the crap out of me. Like I just cannot even watch this part where before Beverly gets captured by Pennywise, and then like her father was trying to like do something like very inappropriate to her, where it just like creeps me out. And then like I don't blame Beverly for kicking her father in the balls. I'm sorry. but but yeah, like, and then she actually just like knocked her father, and I felt like when she hits her father with this glass thing, I don't know what that is, or this hard metal thing, I felt like he should have been dead like right after that hit, because like after when she hits her father, he was like bleeding, and then he was groaning on the floor, and that was before Pennywise appeared out of nowhere and just like captures Beverly. So as for the Losers Club, let's get back to them. So yeah, Bill's the leader, Beverly's the only girl member of the Losers Club, and then Ben is usually like the chubby kid. But let's talk about the character that is funny, but he also can be a bit obnoxious at times, and that is Richie. Richie is played by this kid that you might recognize him as the kid from Stranger Things, and he is like over the top in this movie. He's probably like one of the funniest characters in this movie. However, sometimes like the yo mama jokes can get like pretty old. It gets like very really annoying at times, but he is still funny. I actually do think that he's hilarious. Also, Eddie is also hilarious. He The thing about Eddie is that he was like having like an asthma attack thing, and that's why he has like this inhaler thing, so he can like breathe and make sure that he keeps breathing, so he'll be okay. And then you have Stanley, which I felt like Stanley is actually like the least interesting member of the Losers Club. Not to say he was bad, but it's just that like he is just like he feels like that he's just kind of there, I guess. I don't know about all the details about his character when I was rewatching the film like 6 times, but because I really want to see what was going on with this movie. And then you have Mike. Now, Mike is basically he's the only black kid in this movie, and he's also good. I really like his character, and he also like brought his he actually brought his like his gun with him when he and the rest of the Losers Club were going after Pennywise. You know, especially like when Pennywise kidnaps Beverly, which this is usually like the whole like damsel in distress, which I heard some people were kind of getting sick of. And yes, we have been seeing like all these like damsel in distress cliches in movies, and this movie actually did include like the damsel in distress thing, but it doesn't really bother me. So I really want the Losers Club to be reunited to rescue Beverly, who after when she just like fights back against her abusive father, and then Pennywise just like appeared out of nowhere, and then he just like kidnaps her. All right, so let's talk about the bullies. Let's start with Henry Bowers. Henry Bowers is the main bully in the book, the miniseries, and in this. And he is so freaking crazy, and he just like yells and shouts, and he is like one of the most like horrifying bullies I have ever seen. And not only that he was a bully, not only that he threats to bully the Losers Club, but he actually tends to kill the Losers Club himself. And he is like so psychotically crazy. And the fact that he killed his own father when he got the knife, when he got the box in the mail from Pennywise's balloon, and then he basically killed his father just by just putting his knife like on his neck, and then you hear people on the TV say, just telling Henry to kill them, and then Pennywise appears on the TV, and much like with Georgie's death, this scene actually makes me feel scared, where I felt like I had to like I had to like look back, because it just feels so real. It just looks so horrifying. Like, like damn, like come on. It scares the crap out of me. So now let's talk about Pennywise. Let's talk about Pennywise the clown. So Pennywise in this movie is played by Bill Skarsgård. And what do I think of his performance as Pennywise? I thought his performance was pretty scary, and his design looks horrifying, and then he actually looks like the actual demon that we cannot fight up against. And while Tim Curry's Pennywise is iconic, he looks more like a everyday clown that you will see when you go to a circus, or maybe somewhere like on your birthday or something. And he just feels more human. And the way how he walks, the way how he like picks up one of the Losers Club in the sewers, just looks like a random person in the clown costume carrying the kid. But this Pennywise, Bill Skarsgård, when he moves, it just feels unnatural, and he would just like move like so like really weird and out of place. It just looks like so creepy. Like he would just kind of like walk like this, and even like when his back is bent like this, and I was just like, ugh. And then you hear like some of the bone cracking sound effects. I was just like, oh my god, stop, like stop. So yeah, and he did a good job, and then like the makeup looks really good, making him look really scary. And his scene like with Georgie, like when I mentioned about Georgie's death, is horrifying, and is like one of the most like scariest moments that you would ever seen in a horror film, and also one of the scariest deaths in horror movies. And I think Bill Skarsgård did like a really good job playing Pennywise the clown. And this is not the only time that we see this version of Pennywise in this movie and Chapter 2, but we also got to see that Pennywise in a sequel to Space Jam. I'm not even kidding, guys. Pennywise appeared in Space Jam: A New Legacy, and he was watching LeBron James and the Looney Tunes playing basketball against the Goon Squad. I don't know why he's in a Looney Tunes movie, but like that was really odd. But oh well, I guess it's Warner Brothers, and yeah, this is also Warner Brothers, so oh well. So let's now talk about the things that I don't like in this movie. Now, I do have some minor problems with the film, because the movie itself is not perfect, but I still enjoyed it. But I do have some couple of issues with the film. One is I felt like the pop songs they included in this movie just feels really random, and it just kind of doesn't fit. Especially like where moments like where the Losers Club were like hanging out. Which is not to say it's a bad thing. You know, like I like the scenes like where the Losers Club are hanging out with each other and they got along very well. But the pop songs that they included in this movie just makes me go like, really? And it's not bad, but it's just I kind of felt like it felt like I was like watching like a different kind of movie, and it just doesn't really fit. And I do have some like I did watch some movies where music in films can work, and there are times where it doesn't. And to me, it just feels like a bit kind of it feels a bit weird and a bit out of place. Now, if you guys like this, some of the like forced soundtracks, some forced songs in this movie, that's fine. But for me personally, I just don't think it's necessary. I just kind of wish that they would have like continued making this movie like a bit more scary instead of like making the having like a pop song where it just feels like that I'm watching like some different movie rather than just a Stephen King horror film adaptation. So yeah, but and also the other problems I have with the movie is the adults. Now I know the adults are acting bloody weird, especially like when Pennywise is in the town of Derry, and the town of Derry is like not a good place to go to, and I do not want to move there if it was real. Hell no. But yeah, the parents is just the parents are just kind of there. Bill's dad is just there. Eddie's mom is just there. Same thing with Beverly's father. He's there and he's such a creep. And yeah, that's about the adults. Like there's nothing much I can say about the adults other than they're just kind of there just for being acting really bloody weird, and they just don't trust they well not trust like they don't believe that the Losers Club about Pennywise. Even um Bill's father doesn't believe Bill that Georgie might be still around, but he did say that Georgie is dead at the beginning of the movie. But yeah, those are the minor nitpicks I have with the movie. Not to say it doesn't it kind of almost ruined the movie, but it doesn't really make me go like, oh man, this movie is turning out to be a piece of crap. Which I mean, it's not crap, but the movie is still good. But I would not say it's perfect, like some people would say. Now, the last thing I wanted to talk about is let's talk about the climax. So, like when Pennywise captures Beverly, the Losers Club had to like go rescue her after when they have like after when they have like a breakdown where they go in their separate ways. So they get together again and they had to rescue Beverly, and then they had to fight Pennywise. And then like when they fight Pennywise, it looks like it reminds me of like this. It reminds me of like the kids are basically are together just fighting this evil clown that could have been that is like just as horrifying as the Joker from Batman. And I love this line that Richie says, and what he says before they fight Pennywise was this. Take a take a listen.
You punched me in the face. You made me walk through shitty water. You brought me to a fucking crackhead house. And now I'm gonna have to kill this fucking clown. Welcome to the Losers Club, asshole!
Yeah, he is such a badass, and I really love how he and the rest of the Losers Club decides to fight Pennywise, and they actually beat him up. And it was so creative that Pennywise was shapeshifting into the fears that the Losers Club were afraid of. And it just really makes you like you just want to like fight Pennywise yourself, like you really want to fight him, even though that this Pennywise is actually tends to be like more unnatural and more scare terrifying, like compared to Tim Curry. And the way how Pennywise was defeated is that he was defeated, but he wasn't dead. He was kind of like his face was like kind of like I don't know, kind of getting ripped apart or something, or is like turning into dust. And then his final words was he says fear, and then he disappeared. And now the movie ends with the Losers Club are going to their own separate ways, and then they will return to Derry if Pennywise returns to Derry. So they all say goodbye, and Bill kisses Beverly, and then she says bye to him, and then and yeah, they all go to their own separate ways, and they're going to return for It Chapter 2, and that was about it. So yeah, my overall thoughts on this movie, I still really enjoy this version of It. Pennywise is horrifying. Bill Skarsgård did a really good job. The makeup looks really creative, making him look creepy and scary, and the way how he moves is unnatural. It just looks more like a shape-shifting entity that can actually haunt us in our fears. Which he's kind of like kind of like Freddy Krueger from A Nightmare on Elm Street in a bit, because both Freddy and Pennywise likes to like scare us and feed on our fears. And I thought the Losers Club did a very good job with their performances. Even the bullies, very good. Very good scares. Not a lot of deaths in this movie because Pennywise only killed like I don't know, like 2 people, and then the last death was Henry's father when Henry kills his father with the knife. When Pennywise and the children on the TV were just like, kill him, kill him, kill him. It was just scary. And the scares were pretty creative. And like I said about Bill Skarsgård's Pennywise, he is really horrifying. Yeah, he's scary. He's like such an intimidating clown. He's like a shape-shifting being that we cannot stand a chance against him. And yeah, he's just horrifying. Like, he just scares the crap out of us. And even when I first saw this movie in theaters back in 2017, it scared the crap out of me, especially with Georgie's death at the beginning. So yeah, I do enjoy this movie despite some of the problems I have. I still think that this is actually a really good remake, and I actually did enjoy this more than the TV miniseries. I would say the first part of the miniseries was good. The second one, not so much, but as for this one, I really do enjoy this movie. The Losers Club were great. The director was really good behind the camera. Bill Skarsgård is great. The bullies are great. It's got some really great scares, and it's just a horrifying film. And the effects, some of the effects actually kind of looks a little dated, kind of bad. But most of the effects, like where Pennywise shapeshifts, looks really very intense and scary. So yeah, I mean, that's all I can say about It Chapter 1. I think this is a really good remake, and one of the best horror remakes, if not the perfect remake, because like I said, there are some problems and there's some minor issues. But I would highly recommend this movie to every fan of Stephen King, and especially if you're a fan of Pennywise. So on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give It Chapter 1 a 8.5 out of 10. An 8.5 out of 10. Still enjoyed it. There are some problems with it. Not a perfect remake, as everybody said it is, but it's still really fun. It's still really good to watch. Really recommend this movie. So folks, that's my review for Stephen King's It Chapter 1. What did you guys think of this? Have you guys seen this? What did you guys think of it? Did you guys like it? Did you guys hate it? What do you think of Bill Skarsgård's Pennywise? Or do you think Bill Skarsgård is a better Pennywise, or do you think Tim Curry's a better Pennywise? Comment below. Let me know. Also, have you read the book? If so, what you think? If you've seen the miniseries, what you think of it as well? And which adaptation of it is better, the miniseries or this one? So let me know in the comments below. Let me know. Feel free to subscribe to my channel, hit that like button, and turn on the notifications. And stay tuned. I'm going to continue making more horror movie review videos. The next horror movie I'm going to review is Scream. So we're going to talk about Ghostface in the next video. Now you might be wondering which Scream movie I'm going to be talking about. I'm going to be talking about the first Scream movie that came out in 1996 that was directed by the late, great Wes Craven. So, hope you guys enjoy my review for Stephen King's It. So, this is James Hernandez, signing out.